going to be using some non-Jewish sources for the explication of some of the highest realms of thought within Judaism, within Kabbalah itself. One phrase that comes to mind is by Buckminster Fuller. Unity is plural and at minimum two. He does this to make a tetrahedron out of two triangles. He splits the triangles and makes a tetrahedron to show the unity of plurality, and to show unity itself, one needs at least two. Otherwise, you have a one that's only itself. To show the unity in the one, you need two. This is, of course, true in normative Judaism, in the word and the choice of the word echad. Echad means unity. Unity that all is one, but the all has to be of a minimum of two parts. Otherwise, you just have one and its same. So for me, the unity is plural and at minimum two, shows that even in the mirror image, or in two things of the same, you really don't have the same. You have slight difference. No line can go through its same point twice. Even in a circle, it's like a spiral going up. So with this knowledge of unity is plural and at minimum two, we now go into the biblical accounts of the repetition of names, Noach, Noach, Avraham, Avraham, and see, and then go into the divine name, the Yud K, Vav K, and why there are two Ks there, two Heys. Is there a difference between these two Heys? I proceed to go on that even in the same singularity there are two parts, and there's one part that's a Gavra, and then that mirror image of the Gavra, that objectified part of the Gavra, the Hefsa, the object. That even in the self, there's a Hefsa and a Gavra. I've always felt that the Zillah, the rib that made that of Adam, that made woman, that in itself was a Hefsa. What you're looking for is your Hefsa, not your Gavra counterpart, but the Hefsa that you left in the womb, the placenta, searching for your double. I'm then led to another phrase that I saw with Zizek. He said, oh, he doesn't have sex anymore because all sex for him was masturbation with object. which when one thinks about it is what all sex is. It's a physicalization of fantasy. What goes on in your mind during non-sexual times, when it's done with a partner, that becomes a physicalization of what went on in your mind, in your own mentality, in your thoughts and your fantasy. It's no different. It's masturbation in the self with object, with external object. And that all of a sudden gets like social sanction. That's all right. That's another non-Jewish derivative into Judaism. The next thing that I use as a methodology to understand the Talmud, I think all Talmudic thought, the dialectic of the Brisker method, is an extension of the philosopher Hegel's Aufheben. Aufheben, which means to lift up, but also preserve what was below. This Aufheben as a negation and then a double negation, as a negative theology. It is so close to the understanding of Talmudic thought that I think that Hegel even got it from them. So in mathematics, I've derived from the outside. Sexuality, I've derived from the outside. Philosophy, I've derived from the outside. And why have I been forced on the outside to the Sitra Achra? To understand the Paninius, to understand the Kedusha of the Jewish methodologies and opus. And that's a question I'm not going to address now. I'm only addressing its fruits and its results. And that in our generation here of secular pursuits and secular education and internet and television, that the best methodologies to understand the Kedusha is from the Sitra Achra, from the other side. The best way to understand the body, the Mishkan of the Jewish people, that the Mishkan is the body, is through yoga, Hatha Yoga, as a body development. We don't do this in Judaism. However, in Judaism, the Mishkan is the body. And we have to refine this as the heart and essence of ourselves, that we are walking Mishkan. We're walking temples. We are the rebuilding of the third temple, each and every one of us individually. Is that much different than yoga? Why has the Jew been forced out to do yoga with Hindu chanting, Sanskrit, vowels, when its root is in Torah, in the Mishkan itself? So this is another thing about physicality. Physicality has had to be looked upon and looked at through non-Jewish means. Our concepts have been derived from time rather than timelessness, from development rather than root. A return to the biblical, and below the biblical, the Chumash concept of five Platonic solids. Only now do I see that the cube could be encased within the dodecahedron after all these years. And so, the best way to approach Judaism today is from non-Jewish sources. Commentators that don't even know they have application. There is a root, an ikha, in the Jew that may understand this. And that's why, to rebuild his body, the most important aspect of the Jew, the Mishkan, the casing for the Shekinah to dwell within. He's had to turn to Eastern religions and practices. Don't we all know that our bodies are a manifestation of the tree of life diagram? Keter in the head and the skull. Chochmah as the right side brain. Bina as the left side brain. Hesed as the right arm. Gevurah as the left arm. Tiferet as the guf, the heart. Netzach and Hod as the legs. Yesod as the sign of the bris. Malchus is the ground, the feet, or the anal. Why not a yoga from that when you walk down the street in walking yoga, walking meditation? How about an understanding of the body as the third temple itself? So this has just been an introduction to a line of thought that will continue and will be focused within these parameters that I've just shown you. And why I do these chats to begin with, as a delving into an explication, a tunis, a speaking and receiving of the same person. There's so much that I've alluded to here that one can go for years just on the threads that have been issued out in these few minutes of chat. So, all these years of study of Buckminster Fuller, Hegel, Zizek, yoga will not go to waste if you can apply them to the Jewish opus and see where they are truly derived from. But our explications have been blocked due to a group of people within the religion itself that holds the individual back from his true exploration of the Ani, of the Ein, of the Anoki, of the Yesh Ma'ain and Ein Ma'yesh, and a review and a return back to a self where the true unity, the true Echad, is only shown as a unity of Yudke Vavke, Elohim, a deep understanding of Tunis as Echad,